So who is telling the truth, Luxon or Modi? Now this is Modi.
न्यूजीलैंड द्वारा भारत में 20 बिलियन डॉलर के इन्वेस्टमेंट कमिटमेंट का भी हम विशेष रूप से स्वागत करते हैं। यह न्यूजीलैंड की कंपनीज को भारत की ग्रोथ स्टोरी में लॉन्ग टर्म पार्टनर बनने का अवसर देगा।
Now this is Luxon.
That we've been through this before. It's very clearly understood on both sides as a commitment to promote investment into India from New Zealand. No, I'm just saying to you, we understand what we agreed in the FTA, and both sides understand that well, and that's been traversed well before.
Now there is a definite difference of opinion here. So surely before this FTA deal is done, this difference of opinion should be ironed out. I mean, of all governments around the world, I would have thought that the New Zealand government would know what problems can arise from a difference of opinion over a treaty document. So is the 20 billion US dollar, or in New Zealand dollars, the $34.7 billion investment over 15 years into India from New Zealand a commitment, or just a nice to have promotion of investment of no real consequence, and it doesn't matter if it happens or doesn't happen? Now, to say that this free trade agreement document is boring is a massive understatement. So I will try and just show you what I think are the relevant parts, but the link to the whole document can be found in the description if you want to go through it yourself. So this is Chapter 9 of the New Zealand-Indian FTA. It covers investment promotion and cooperation. This is Article 9.2. Now this is where the problems are arising. It says, New Zealand shall promote foreign direct investment, or as they call it FDI, from investors of New Zealand into India with the aim to increase such investment by 20 billion US dollars within 15 years of the date of entry into force of this agreement. Now in my eyes, that is not saying it should definitely happen, but that is just my eyes, and my eyes don't matter here. And I think it will become clear later on that even Luxon's eyes don't matter here. To me, it looks like the only eyes that matter with regard to this investment and this document is the Indian government's eyes. And I say that because in Article 9.8 it says, any differences concerning the fulfillment of the commitments set out in Article 9.2, investment promotion, shall be resolved in accordance with Article 9.9, review, reporting, and three-tier government-to-government consultations. Okay, so let's look at Article 9.9. Paragraph 1 states that the parties agree to a three-tier government-to-government consultations procedure for resolution of differences raised in relation to the commitments set out in Article 9.2, investment promotion. Now this is that paragraph that's causing all the problems. Now to me, looking at what Modi and Luxon are saying, this should happen now. Because I would say that there are already differences raised in relation to the commitments set out in Article 9.2. Now, paragraph 2 states that the investment committee shall review progress towards the achievement of the objective to increase investment from New Zealand into India by 20 billion US dollars. Hereinafter, they're going to call this investment objective, and the commitment undertaken by New Zealand as set out in Article 9.2, the investment promotion problematic paragraph. Now, to me, this doesn't sound like a nice to have. It seems clear that the objective is to increase investment from New Zealand into India by 20 billion US dollars, which I'll have to say again is 34.7 billion New Zealand dollars. So they have even decided to call it the investment objective. Now, paragraph 6 states, should the investment objective not be achieved by the final review and India considers that New Zealand has not fulfilled its commitment set out in Article 9.2, the problem paragraph, India may request consultations by the investment committee. So like I was saying before, it's not my eyes that matter, or even Luxon's. This paragraph here clearly states that if India considers that New Zealand has not fulfilled its commitment set out in Article 9.2, India may request consultations by the investment committee. Now, the following paragraph set out what the investment committee process will be and how long it should take. It also says that if the investment committee can't come up with a resolution, then they shall refer the matter to the Joint Commission. Now, the Joint Commission shall try and reach a mutually agreed solution. If the Joint Commission cannot resolve the matter within 6 months of the date of receipt of the reference from the Investment Committee, the same shall be referred to the representatives of New Zealand and India at the level of ministers. But look at this part here in paragraph 12. If the matter is not fully resolved within 6 months from the date of receipt of the referral from the Joint Commission, New Zealand may request a grace period of an additional 3 years. The request shall state the grounds and may outline possible actions from New Zealand towards the achievement of the investment objectives set out in Article 9.2, the problematic paragraph. India may consider granting such request with due consideration to the report of the Investment Committee and the recommendations of the Joint Commission, as well as discussions held by representatives of the parties at the level of the ministers. Now, I don't know, but does that not sound like New Zealand does have an investment target or objective, which we know that India thinks is $20 billion US? And now if we go down to section 9.1, this is very important. If no mutually agreed solution, subsequent to consultations under paragraph 6 through 12 of Article 9.9, review, reporting and 3-tier government-to-government consultations has been found, and the grace period, if granted by India, has elapsed, and India determines that New Zealand has not fulfilled its commitment set out in Article 9.2, the problematic paragraph, India may, notwithstanding any other provision under this agreement, undertake proportionate remedial measures to rebalance the concessions provided to New Zealand by India pursuant to Annex 2A Schedules of Tariff Commitments. So if India is not happy with the New Zealand investment, and if they think that New Zealand has not done what they said they would do, then they can undertake proportionate remedial measures and change the benefits New Zealand businesses get from this FTA. So is this not just too much of a big risk for businesses intending to do business with India under this FTA? And does it not make their job of planning for the future impossible? I mean, imagine building up a business that is totally reliant on this free trade agreement. Then after 15 years having the rug completely pulled because of something that should have been easy to get fixed right now. And if this is so cut and dry as Luxon says, then all Luxon has to do is get an Indian government official to come out and tell us that Luxon is in fact correct. The 34.7 billion New Zealand dollar investment into India is just a nice to have only. And if such a simple thing like that doesn't happen, then I think we all know what that means, don't we? And good luck to any company relying on this trade deal to continue far into the future. And out of fairness, I don't think it's just Luxon who needs castigating over this Indian free trade agreement. Both Hipkins and Seymour are also equally complicit in the total betrayal that it is. In my opinion, none of them deserve any votes from any Kiwis who actually love New Zealand.